It's 2:07. Everyone wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to really die to get there. Oh, they'll say, I have no fear of death. Okay, so you'll be ready in 10 minutes? Well, I didn't say that. I don't know who will get, if anybody. But hello, replay crowd, replay audience. I hope I don't wake anybody up who happen to have their phone up and their notification bell on. Just go back to sleep. I always fear I'm going to wake somebody up. My name is Jack Willard, and this is Pop On to Pop Off here at the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. One person has found us. It'll probably be a familiar name, but maybe not. Maybe not. I could guess a couple of names. ND, BN, those two names come to mind. HW would be another one, because she's often up late. We have heard from people working overnight shifts when I do this. Two people now have found us. Pop On to Pop Off. The channel is the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. Please subscribe so you can see all our videos here. We talk about a lot of subjects, but are really only known for two things: the Pastor Bob Joyce / Elvis topic, and our live shows like Worldwide Ramblings, Wednesdays and Saturday nights at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Our title, if I can remember what I just wrote at my age of almost 69, it's getting harder, has the invasion of the body snatchers happened to half the world? Now, I'm not really doing the math. I'm really basing it on my experience here in America, because something is just so weird, creatures of the night. Something is freaking weird. People that should know better are abandoning all their integrity. People that have lived through much different times than we live through now are abandoning all their objectivity, all their integrity, and coming up with wild opinions. Here's one of the creatures of the night. We've been missing her because I think she's been working a lot. Hi, Jody Smith. Sorry, Jack, I haven't been on the lives. I had the flu. Oh, dear. Yeah. I was commenting to the checkout lady at ShopRite that I was checking her out. Was it a guy or a woman? More than a woman. I don't think I've ever had the flu in my 68 years. I get bronchitis, and once you get bronchitis, you're going to get it again down the road. But I made it through the entire winter without getting it. But last time was just as fall was starting to come in. So I hope that is in the past tense. You had the flu, Jody Smith. I'm just glad to see you here. She's one of our loyal family members. And she's one of the roles she plays here at the channel is she's a motivator. She motivates others to hit the thanks button. And I've got a few of those. And because there is a thanks button here, there is a like button. And there is a notification bell that you can turn on. I hope I didn't wake anybody up. Angelo is here as well. Hi, Jack. Late show. Just popping on for a little bit to pop off. Sunny and warm in Vancouver. Spring, huh? It hasn't happened here yet, but I think maybe by Saturday. Right now, it's windy. See, I mentioned HW. Could be one of the people that would pop on. I didn't think of JS. That's Jody Smith. And I didn't think of AD, Angelo. But I did say HW. And that was for for Hearts Wild because she is a creature of the night. Makes me think of that great song from the late Laura Branigan. I live amongst the creatures of the night. Let's see. GTSY. Good to see you. That would be my guess. I'm not hip to that all the time, you know. Beyond LOL, I have to think sometimes. Good to see you as well, Hearts Wild. Is your heart really wild? Have you done wild things in your life? This is the time to confess in the middle of the night. Ignore the fact that people may see it at other times of the day. If I ever did a confession like that, it would be interesting. It would be interesting programming, but I think I'd live to regret it. I like the night. You like the nighttime. You like the boogie. It's quiet and peaceful. Yeah, people, that's why Art Bell was so successful with Coast to Coast AM all those years, talking about the wild subjects, the uh, the snake people, the UFOs. What are they up to? The uh, the Illuminati, various conspiracies and what have you, because people listen much closer and they're looking for that kind of thing. You don't need another political show at 2 o'clock in the morning. But I understand what you're saying about the night. I mean, I've worked midnight to 8 so many times in my life. It's just weird now. It's weird knowing that those days are over. Every once in a while, I'll see something like a traveling job or something and say, well, I could do that for a few months. And then I realize, no, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. I can't even lift anymore. I'm not supposed to, you know. My right arm is fine, but my left arm, I have a defibrillator in my chest and it comes up through the arm to connect to the heart. Um, and at least the wire does. They didn't, I don't think they stuck a defibrillator in my arm. I was asleep. What do I know? I had the milk. They gave me the milk. So I'm going to talk about Invasion of the Body Snatchers in just a second, but I want to say hello to everybody. Jody says, I feel it more like a lot of people have gotten so comfortable airing things out in the open and they don't realize who they're offending in the process. Well, I say, what, what did Anthony Hopkins say? I say bullocks. I say bullocks. If you're talking about the XYZers, they couldn't care less who they're offending. They were raised, many of them, by godless parents who said, I'm not going to put those rules on my kids. And so by 9 years old, the kid is telling you to go F yourself. There's your reward for your great parenting. Marty Greco. Good morning, Jack and everyone. Marty was very sick with, he had bronchitis and he had pneumonia. Don't think I've ever had pneumonia. Then I think it was double pneumonia. He's like when he's at the gambling casino, he wanted to double his odds and have double pneumonia, I think. Oh dear. But I don't know, Hearts Wild, because it seems like if we were more honest about our feelings, nothing more than feelings. Someone said once that I don't know really very well, but they said on probably Facebook, they said, I'm into the real kinky SHIT. I'm just going to say it so nobody can ever hold it against me. No one can ever threaten me. I'm into the real kinky stuff. And I thought, well, I can understand that truth, but you're still opening yourself up in this judgmental society, where everything is pretend. There's a lot of pretend in Christianity, pretending that you're holier than you are, pretending that you know more about the scripture and understand it than you do. People that, including preachers, that love to correct various other preachers and what have you. That can become your whole ministry, like John MacArthur, although he does do other things. I don't want to be unfair, but So, did I wake anybody up with the bell going off? I hate that if I did. So it's sunny and warm in Vancouver. Not now. It's not, but it will be today, huh? So maybe you're a day earlier, and then it comes here, I believe, Saturday. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm already thinking about my first cigar. I haven't had one since I don't know October, and I don't go heavy on them. But I like to sit there in the gazebo, fenced-in gazebo that we have, and I have a little dish with some honey on it, and I roll my Dutch Masters, the part I'm going to put in my mouth, putting me mouth. I roll it, and I'm going to do that several times. And then I'll have a beverage, and I'll just sit there listening to the Jimmy Stir Polka Show on the Polka Jammer Network in the archives, and life is good. Life is good. Then Karen comes out, tells me to turn down the polka music, and wants me to put out the cigar. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Do 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 do. Bruce Hornsby and the Range. What a great song, right? I was awake, though I shouldn't be. Yeah. Angela Smith, hi. Welcome. I don't know if I know you. Where are you watching from? I keep telling myself I'm going to get out of this habit of going to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning. And, I do these shows at 10 o'clock on Wednesday and Saturday night. That's East Coast time, worldwide ramblings. And then I'm kind of up from the show. And so that doesn't work out. But if I want to go to church at 11:30 on Sunday morning, I think it's 11 o'clock now at the one in Montgomery. Um, then I can't be going to sleep at 4:30, 5 o'clock. But you're after you do a show, you're up from it. I don't know if I'll have the same experience here, but it could happen. East Texas. Well, see, I'm very bad at geography. My son lives outside of Austin, Texas, and I have no idea whether that's north, east, west, and south. But it's not that far from Arkansas, right? I guess. I have driven it. Have driven it. Actually, my son drove it once, my car, and then I had to drive back all by myself because he lives there. I think he flew down. He flew down. Then I had to pick him up at JFK, blown away. What more do I have to say? We didn't start the fire. Well, maybe we did. Maybe we had a hand in it, Marty Greco. I think we might have had a hand in starting the fire, starting all this chain of, you know, wickedness that's out there. Um, I think we might have had a hand. Long view. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of it. My son is a tractor trailer slash when you work for US Foods, it can be anything from a tractor trailer, an 18-wheeler to a van. It just depends on what day it is and the amount of delivery that you're doing. So he goes to places like Dripping Springs, where my daughter got married, and obviously throughout Austin, including the rough portion of Austin, and rarely does he go very far out. He doesn't go to Houston. When he used to deliver to Family Dollar, he was in like 6 or 7 different states. He was right there on El Paso. He was right there on the border. So Ted Richards joins us too. Wow. Hello there, Jack and everyone. Did I wake you up, Ted, with a notification bell? I hope not. Jack, I believe it's just another confirmation why Pastor Bob singing Elvis with Pastor Bob singing Elvis recently, if you know what I mean. That makes me think of the Neil Diamond song that's so good. If you know what I mean. Yeah. Um, so here's the funny thing, I do this 5-minute video promoing this video that was shot on February 15th at Household of Faith in Benton, Texas. Special Saturday fellowship, and they probably had a nice, luncheon or whatever, and then they went into the sanctuary, and once again, Pastor Bob sang to, I'm going to say his wife, Willina, I have struggled with that. I do have to say that if he's married to Walina, since I don't believe that Pastor Bob is Robert Wayne Joyce, who married Walina in Texas in 1975, I believe in the two Bob Joyce theory. Um, people tell me that Robert Wayne Joyce passed away, and I sure hope that's not true. But people tell me he died in a car accident, but there's no verification of that I can find. No one's ever given me any, and I hope it's not true. But that would kind of pave the way for him to marry Walina, if Walina happened to be the girlfriend of Elvis Presley for a while in Germany when he was in the service there. I said ND could be one of the people showing up. See, I said HW and ND. Everybody else I didn't get so far. But here is Nancy. Hi, Jack. Nice surprise. Well, yeah, and I 40 minutes ago I didn't know I was going to do it, so I'm just as surprised as you. Even Kitty is here. I love that name, Kitty, because I also love Kitten from Dark Shadows. Here's Kitten, also known as Nancy Barrett, who lives in Phoenix, Arizona right now. She's in her 80s. And here she is when she was, barely in her 20s on Dark Shadows. And the nickname Carolyn Stoddard Collins had was Kitten. And it was funny to see Uncle Roger calling her Kitten. And here she is in a much more recent photo. Time marches on. She's still our Nancy, and we love her, and she's still beautiful. But she's there in Phoenix, Arizona. After Dark Shadows, she did the Doctor's soap opera, but I don't think that was too big of a role. Then she went on to a bigger role on Ryan's Hope, One Life to Live on ABC, that kind of thing. Some soap operas, and did some theater, and finally did a one-woman show she always wanted to do in around 1997. Huh. So look at that. 13 people that I know of, and I have a feeling there's more. But our regulars, yeah. Marty, Kitty, Hearts Wild. I heard that Elvis never planned on marrying Priscilla. He just promised her dad that then he did. So to finish the story, because I'm notorious for not doing this, I'm sent by somebody that may be here right now. I'm sent this link to a video uh, from February 15th, a Saturday, where Pastor Bob starts tickling the ivories, not tinkling the ivories, tickling the ivories, and all of a sudden, with Walina in the front row, looking beautiful, though we can only really see her from the side and the back. He starts singing "The Wonder of You," one of my favorite Elvis songs, "The Wonder of You." So the dilemma I have is that I would love to put that up myself, but I could get copyrighted 3 ways to Sunday. So I'm going to do like a 5-minute video, read what the person said and everything like that. And and by the way, I'm wrong. That person isn't here that I know of. Um, and then I'm going to send them over to X, where they can see the video for themselves from this person that turns out to be quite a character, who was part of the insurrection. If you want to call it an insurrection, I don't call it an insurrection, but that's what she was charged with, being part of the insurrection. And she dresses up as Captain America. I swear to you. So send people over there. Others would take a chance and would put it up and probably get a lot of views. But I don't want to risk the channel. I don't want to risk the channel over it. Um, People put up copyrighted stuff all the time from Household of Faith, and they don't seem to have any qualms about it. But the church has a copyright thing. Now, you can put up an excerpt when you're doing an entertainment news story. That's fair use. You'll probably win. But if you put up the whole thing or something like that, or you're constantly doing that, that's a whole different story. You're just trying to get your views, putting your name on it. Anyway, I've said that before, but that's not something I want to do. I've seen it. I've seen it happen where someone puts up, like when he sang "Can't Help Falling in Love with You" a year or so ago from Household of Faith, and in that particular instance, he sounded in parts. He sounded like Elvis Presley, the record of way back when he did that, and one of my competitors put it up and got, I don't know, 500,000 views, and it had already been up on the Household of Faith site. I thought, man, I can't win for losing. But I don't like doing that. It's very risky when you put up somebody else's work and you put your name on it. To me, I just can't go there. So I put it up, and then it seems what happened is the creator took it down, which is her right to do. I've taken videos down. I had a video up not too long ago. Uh, and the thumbnail was a picture of Trump with Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm not saying that anything went on in the island, or if he even went to the island, but he used to, when he was younger, especially, he used to hang out from time to time with Jeffrey Epstein, along with a lot of other people. So let's see if I can go to my email, and now I'm getting to the point where I never know how to. Yeah, it goes back, but it doesn't go forward. What is easy for many people is hard for me. I'm trying to remember their name. Um, Let me see. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I have a video on it. So if you go to Bob Joyce sings Elvis Again. It's a pre-recorded video. It's only 5 minutes long. Bob Joyce sings Elvis Again to Walina. It's got over 3,800 views right now. You'll see the thumbnail from that very service, when he kind of a informal service where he sings the song, and you'll see the lady whose last name is Larson Olson. Larson Olson. And what she says, that noting that when you on Sunday, you're not allowed to record. You're not allowed to record. It's a church service. It's not, you're not going to a rock concert. It's a church service. But on Saturday, for something informal, they let them record. And so she was able to catch Pastor Bob singing "The Wonder of You." And so I did a video on it. She probably, that guy Jack Willard did a video, and she pulled the video, I guess. And so if you email me, Jack the Fair Guy, FAIR, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com, and tell me you'd like to see it sometime this weekend, because I'm so inept, I'll have Andy do a mass emailing of the people that have noted that in my email, okay? Like, ND would be on that list. She would be on that list. Back to the live stream. So it's basically our family, even here at 2:30. 2:30? See a dentist. So, Jack, do you feel that is another notch of confirmation? Sure, because I'm starting to feel that these things are starting to be more than just coincidence. Well, yeah, I don't even believe in the word coincidence. Um, Another person could say, "Oh, he does that just to get our goat." He knows there'll be a video on it. He knows people will be talking about it, and that's his sense of humor. But no, I think that's right. But I also think he likes the life that he lives now, and even though he may be living on the edge, he wants it to stay that way. He wants it to stay that way. I love this late night chat. Well, thank you, Hearts Wild. I've always been a night person. I want to kind of change it a little bit so I can experience some of the beautiful spring mornings here in the Hudson Valley. But then you're out there at 9, 10 in the morning, and you smell the lilac flowers, and the birds are chirping, and you say, "Oh, this is nice, but what am I going to do now?" This doesn't feel like it's obviously not a time to light up a cigar at that time of the morning. Shelley 3 joins us as well. Shelley 3. Yes, that's her new handle for the time being. The Night Owl Club, or Herb Jepko's Nightcap Show. That's what I used to listen to when I was a young lad. The 1970s, I guess. Herb Jepko from I don't want to say Salt Lake City, but maybe Provo, Utah. Could have been Salt Lake City. He was a Mormon, Herb Jepko. Didn't talk about it, but he was. And it was the most just chatty, no real topic. Hi, Herb, I'm calling you from Wisconsin. It's cold here tonight, Herb. Oh, it's cold. Yeah, we've had cold weather too. I mean, I swear he must have said that same kind of thing over and over every night, every hour that he was on, but people loved it. It was just like, just having a chat with a friend, and Herb had a very warm, inviting voice. It's time for a Dagwood sandwich. Well, I'm trying to remember what a Dagwood sandwich is. Did Blondie make it for him? Um, you got me thinking about the funnies that I used to read when the Times Herald Record Sunday edition would come to our house on Commonwealth Avenue. A Dagwood sandwich. It's crazy, says Ted Richards. Yeah. Kitty says, yes, sir, you're correct. It did sound of E. That sounds keep coming through. Yes, indeed. No bigger Elvis fan than me, capital M-E, says Kitty Hewitt. And let's see here. Jack, this country needs a Captain America right now. Yeah, I suppose so. Well, I think we have one. His name is Donald Trump. That would be my personal opinion. And he's backed up by a heck of a cabinet. What a wonderful cabinet we have in place right now. They took a lot of broadcasters, I mean, Sebastian Gorka uh, was on the Salem Broadcasting Network, and people enjoyed listening and watching him. And now you can't because he's in the cabinet. Then Dennis Prager, Prager U, fell in his house, hit his head, and now he can't move. He can, from his shoulders down, his spinal cord injury is not, it wasn't severed or anything, but the rehab time will be long, and they don't know how it's going to go. I didn't hear the latest update. So there must be, I hope my buddy Dennis Franz from the Cincinnati radio station is now on a regular basis, because he is incredible. Dennis Franz, look for him on the Salem broadcast network. It's on Pluto TV, if you get that. Some interesting things, some interesting channels on Pluto. So his rendition of The Wonder of You was just a very casual. He didn't sing the whole song. That song has a strong instrumentation, and it was just him. And if he would have been in a studio, not playing the piano, but in the studio singing to track, it would be really great. I think it would be really wonderful if he did that album, Bob Joyce Sings Elvis. People are always telling me that album already exists. What a great State of the Union speech. Well, it was just a joint speech to Congress. They didn't call it State of the Union. That's why he didn't say at some point the State of the Union is strong. It was a wonderful speech. I agree, and I did a video on it, um, and that's right here too. Ah, boy, I'll tell you, there are times when it hurts being a one-trick pony or a two-trick pony if you count the live shows, because I did a great video the night the Democratic Party died. I've got ashes on my head because I went to church and got the ashes at 4:30 Wednesday. And Karen came too, which was a big surprise, and got ashes as well. We used to go to the Catholic school that's right next door to St. Joseph's Catholic Church. St. Joseph's School has long been closed as a regular school, but they rent various classrooms out to various groups and things like that. So they still use the building, but not anywhere near like they used to when Karen and I went to school there. So the night the Democratic Party died, the way they sat on their hands, those Democrats, every single one of them has to go. And I have to believe that there's enough moderate Democrats that many of those people that sat there, the old women looking like the women that used to go to the bingo hall with their hair in a net, their house dress on, I was going to say something else, and their stockings pulled halfway up to the knee cap and a cigarette dangling from their mouth. That's how some of the old women look there. And that woman with the purple hair, you just can't make this stuff up. It just goes to show you that in some states they'll vote for they'll vote for somebody that it's unfathomable why they would do it, but they do. And of course, they're all there to push their own agenda. They don't give a damn about their constituents. And then you got the squad. Of course, AOC didn't show up. And it all began with Congressman Green shouting out as he raised his cane and being thrown out. Uh, President Trump just waited for the proper people to do their job with a smile on his face, and out went Mr. Green, who is an embarrassment. But every one of them was an embarrassment. When you don't stand up and applaud a 13-year-old boy receiving honorary Secret Service credentials, who has brain cancer, who's supposed to be dead 2 years ago, when you can't stand up for that, many voters are going to say, I would never vote for slime like you. I would never vote for slime like you. Every single one of them are not worth 2 cents to me. Not worth 2 cents. But that's my personal opinion. So I did that video the night the Democratic Party died. It's 24 minutes long, 255 views. This is the tough part of this, because if you if you only have one big go-to topic, obviously there'll be quiet times. Now, the him singing "The Wonder of You" was a spark of life, it was a spark of life. But with any subject, there'll be quiet times, and you don't want to be cornholed into one topic. So it is disappointing when I do the homage to Rush shows, which I haven't done since um, Trump came into office, but there's like 7 of them. And when I do other topics that, I end up with something like that, which is a total failure. It's a total failure for me. However, in that video, some of the core audience did engage in very productive conversation, comments. And that's the good part. But it's, if you've got almost 9,900 subscribers and 255 people, not all of them subscribers, um, at least click on the video for some amount of time, that is not encouraging. That is not encouraging. Good for you and Karen. The Democrats acted like demons. They are just soulless creatures. So, there's this guy who's way up in age right now. I won't say too much about him, except he used to be a New York City radio newscaster. He used to be a New York City radio newscaster. And I commented on something that he put up. He has drank the Kool-Aid, and yet he used to be, I think, an objective news person, and he's been around long enough to know there were great Democrats once, like George McGovern, Hubert Humphrey, um, Ted Kennedy, flawed man, yes, but he cared about people. He really cared about his constituents, and so to me, Ted Kennedy was a pretty good guy. You know, little bit of drinking and killing someone, but other than that, so let's see here. Um, want to go to so he sent me the Representative Al Green uh, speaks on the House floor following outburst at Trump's address. He sent me that. And this is what I wrote to him. I said, the thing that is so strange is you are from a generation that knows what a good Democrat is. But now you stand with a brood of vipers who hate America and have the depth of a kiddie pool. You were a newsman. I give the call letters of the radio station he was on. And yet it is like you have been abducted, as we're talking about tonight, or I'll get to it, and you embrace soulless creatures and push away a ton of facts because you hate Trump. I loved George McGovern in 1972. I was 16 and proudly wore my button. Today's progressives would not be fit to wipe dung off his shoes. Trump derangement syndrome has caused a ton of journalists to destroy their reputations and violate Journalism 101. So strange. MAGA people and smart Democrats know Trump is not a perfect man, but he is a master negotiator, cleaning up the mess of a treasonous, evil Biden. You were willing to put our country in the hands of a woman who could not run a laundromat. How very strange. I know you are unlikely to defend this madness. Trump's cabinet is stellar. I love Tulsi, Pam Bondi, Marco Rubio, and the rest. Trump is working hard to keep his promises to middle America. Any real news guy would be able to tell that. Instead, you line up with Omar and Chris Murphy. Makes no sense at all. That's what I told the retired newscaster from New York City that lives down in one of the Carolinas now these days. That's what I told him. So it's this Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. It's a real thing. And a lot of the people that are the most outraged are the free stuff crowd. There could be another way to say it. The free stuff crowd that just want to take, take, take. They didn't plan for their retirement, maybe. They didn't do this, that, and the other. I'm struggling in my retirement because I have to pay a portion of my pension to my first wife. It's just the way it is. It was written down in the papers. No way around it. No way around it. So I thought it was a pretty decent response myself, Shelley 3. But that's how it is. So I kind of feel like we are seeing it's just so weird and widespread by people. You really wouldn't think, like this newscaster here I'm talking about, that half the world, I say, because I know we're seen in various parts of the world, but half the country is what I'm really saying, because this is the only experience I have, it has been abducted. It's the invasion of the body snatchers for half of the population. They just, I never thought they would sink to this level, you know? I'm not surprised when it's Joy Reid or Rachel Maddow. I am surprised when it's Nicole Wallace that's become diabolical and so wrong. She used to be a Republican. Don't understand it. Don't understand it at all. John Kasich, Governor Kasich, used to be a hero of mine. Yeah, I haven't seen him lately. John Meacham, who's on MSNBC. Now he in the past was brilliant, but it's like he's a perfect example. Some force has taken over their body, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Jake Tapper, I used to like him. Wolf Blitzer. Um, um, I always knew Don Lemon was on the fringe, you know. Um, Christian Amanpour, people that I enjoyed, you know, and respected, and now they have lost all their objectivity, and they give the middle finger to over half the country. And believe me, the number of people, I think it's only like 22% of the people are happy with the Democratic agenda. One reason would be they don't have one. They don't have one. Just to bash Trump, and they're all for chemically castrating your kids, abortion up to the ninth month, and maybe even beyond. You can decide after the kid is born if you want to murder it or not. All these things, the transgender push and what have you, women losing all their rights, women and girls losing all their rights, and having men invade their sports. President Trump had the young lady who was on a volleyball team, and she got hit so hard she has lifetime damage. And those progressives just sat there. Just like when Lake and Riley's mother and daughter stood up, you know, crying, and they are not even human. Every single one. I mean, it's not just it's not just a few. It was every single one of them that was sitting there should never be reelected. Invasion of the body snatchers. What the heck is going on here? Because the older ones know what a real Democrat is. They know what is appropriate. If, as I said on the other show last night, I said that if Hakeem Jeffries had an ounce of self preservation, an ounce of intelligence, leadership in him, he thought, I cannot sit here when a 13-year-old boy is being honored who's getting Secret Service credentials is a nice thing for President Trump to do. We cannot sit here and not stand to our feet and applaud that. That would have been a smart move on his part, because others would have seen their leader doing that. But he couldn't lead a pack of woodpeckers, for goodness sakes. Ah, it's so weird, folks. It's just so weird, especially with people that should know better, older people, you know. Uh, Young people. I mean, did you ever think we'd have a time where once again they won't do it in the cold weather, but it's warm again? So back they go to the colleges, filled with hate for Jewish people. It's fine to say you don't like the things that happen in Gaza, and maybe Israel was too quick on the draw and stuff, but we know what happened in Israel on October 7th. We know the horrific things that happened there. So they were very justified in a response. Um, So Jody says, Jack, I don't understand that since he's an ordained man of God, why he's not thinking my time is limited and I'm not getting any younger and I don't want to die with this guilt. Well, I don't know if he has guilt. See, it depends on the way you approach it. If you approach this, that this was ordained by God, this was God's path for him to come into the ministry, um, via a small church in Benton, but have a national voice on YouTube, then that's God's plan, and we may not understand it. The thing that makes that difficult for me to accept, for me, is that okay. God's ways are not our ways. He does what he wants. He couldn't care less what we think about it. But that also means a whole bunch of people got to tell that story and keep telling it year after year after year, you know. And most of the people um, would um, would go along with what Elvis Presley wanted, you know. They would go along with it. Gene Smith, the cousin, he's passed away now, was unlike his other cousin, who's got a YouTube channel here with two ladies. There's one, his wife, I guess, Billy Smith. Gene Smith wasn't having it. He said, I looked at the body in the coffin, looked to be a wax dummy to me. Didn't look like Elvis. Looked like a wax dummy with a glued on toupee. The corpse seemed to be sweating, or maybe that was just the glue. I looked and I looked, just didn't look like Elvis. And Tanya Tucker supposedly said the same thing to Vernon, and we've talked about that. And Jeannie C. Riley announced from the stage that Elvis is not dead. I know people that talk to him all the time. So I am pretty emphatic when it comes to, did Elvis Presley die in August of 1977? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. And I don't entertain. He's got four brothers and all this nonsense. I believe Jesse was stillborn. Um, if Elvis Presley is alive, in my humble opinion, it's Pastor Bob Joyce, and if it's not, he did die at some point. I don't know when, but he did die at some point. That's my story. That guy six. You are here too. Welcome. I didn't bring any water over. Elvis is alive, so that's what we got going on. Nice to see you, that guy six. Democrats just don't act like they are human. Yeah. What do you call them in your, do you call them just liberals versus conservatives? And when is this new guy going to take over for Justin Trudeau? This is the longest departure tour. Is it next week? It's always next week, next month. When do we say goodbye to Justin Trudeau? And what do you think of the guy who's probably going to be the guy who takes over? He's not a big Trump guy either, is he? What happens if you're right, Jack, about Bob Joyce or about the invasion of the body snatchers? There's something weird going on here, folks. Trump has destroyed so many people's reputations because they did it to themselves. I mean, he was just the instrument that exposed Jake Tapper and Wolf Blitzer and Nora O'Donnell and David Muir and so many. I just watched another round. There's this guy. Have you seen him? He does a review of each channel's reaction on election night. Clinton Jaws, I think he calls himself Clinton Jaws. You see him in a box as he goes through it, and he doesn't show the whole night of election results. He gives you the highlights, but they start off by so confident that Kamala Harris was going to win, and then before you know it, they start to we're not saying this is over. There's still many paths to victory, and it just gets worse and worse. And I was watching the Canadian version, Shelley, this CBC, right? I was watching the Canadian version of these results, and there was a black woman on there, and she just couldn't accept this. And the more the results were bad for Kamala, how racist people are in America and what have you. And she actually said that Kamala Harris uh, ran a flawless campaign. And the main anchor, that was too much for her. She said, well, I wouldn't say it was flawless. Oh, no. No, yes, it was flawless. Don't you disagree with me, honky. Don't you disagree with me. These people are out of their minds. They're off their rocker. They're off their meds, Ted Richards, if you're still here. I also think he knows we know and does not feel he has to verify. It's a good point. Yes, I would agree with that. His cousin and everyone else in his family will keep it quiet till they are told that they can tell the truth. But that's the hard part of making any spiritual justification out of that. If what we say, because I speak of possibilities, I could be wrong about the whole thing. I just don't see how that is the way God would go, that he would ordain that, So I don't know. But there's a lot of things in Christianity I don't understand. Um, they wanted to know everything way back in the Garden of Eden, and that didn't go well at all. And today people still think they know everything or want to know everything. They love to set people straight and what have you, and they've got a log in their own eye. They've got a log in their own eye. As they point out your splinter. What happened to the Epstein files? Yeah. There's supposed to be thousands of pages of Pam Bondi. Well, what she's saying is the latest I heard from Pam Bondi, and she's a wonderful woman, just as Caroline Levitt is, our two blondes there. She said that Cash is going through it, and he'll have more information. But if they bleach bit that stuff, if it just goes into the ether, we'll never see it. We'll never see it. Uh, if they brought in Hillary Clinton to bleach bit the whole thing, there it goes. There it goes. I want to know if Trudeau was on the Epstein or Diddy list. Um, Tom Hanks went to Diddy's house. He did. Scott Baio read the list on his channel. Scott Baio, Chachi from Happy Days. Joni loves Chachi, and of course, Charles in Charge, and lots of movies. He's done smaller movies and what have you. He moved to Florida. He had enough of Governor Hair Gel and, of course, the California taxes and everything, but he just had enough. So he's in Florida now. He got there just in time for a hurricane to come through. They had some damage, he and his wife. He left due to witness protection. If he left due to witness protection, they would keep it a secret. Well, yeah, anything, if he was in the witness protection program, that would have had to end in 2011 when he became a national figure. You can't do that. That's breaking all the rules. Loving both of you is breaking all the rules. Torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool. Kitty, kitty, kitty. He knows, says Nancy to Kitty. He knows, us fans know for sure. Governor Hair Jello, no. Just jail. Democrats just don't act like they are human. Yeah, that's right. You said that. Alien shapeshifters. Yeah, those are fascinating topics. I just don't know if you really gotta. Well, first of all, we'd be doing Zoom interviews, and that stuff only appeals to a certain amount of your audience when your audience is mostly Elvis, Bob, Joyce, so that's another thing. Would other people find me, I wouldn't mind having two audiences, one topic that liked one thing and one audience that liked another thing. I was looking to expand here because February was not a good month. It was not a good month, but there are a few people that hit the Cash App and what have you on a regular basis. And I always feel guilty when it's the same people, or the thanks button. But feel free for any amount. If you're watching the replay and you don't see the thanks button there, just go to another one of my videos and you'll find the thanks button there. I say it, but it's not, usually doesn't happen. So, Mini May in his home, or Mini Me. George Norrie, that's right, Coast to Coast AM, and he's also, got the TV show on the Gaia TV network. I wanted to subscribe to that. I wanted to get that through Prime Video, and it's $13.99 a month. That's $1 more than Paramount Plus / Showtime. Come on. I mean, George has been doing shows on there. He just sits and does interviews, one-on-one interviews. He's been doing them for years now, one a week or whatever, along with doing Coast to Coast AM. And I want to see it. That they also have the transcendental meditation and the yoga and stuff like that. So there's a new age feel apparently on that channel. So I'd be getting it for George Norrie at $13.99 for a channel that should be charging around $6.99 is just too much. It's just too much. Jack, do you think Kamala will run again in 2028? No. The big money people would never support her. She spent $1.5 billion and was was millions in debt at the end. People were so pissed off at her. The money people can't stand her. They're very well aware now that the voters can't stand her. So, and when we have seen her more recently, she's still doing her word salads. I don't think so. Governor of California, she might try that. She might try that. And then down in Florida, maybe um, is it Cassie DeSantis? Cassie DeSantis, the wife of the governor. Uh, Ron wants his wife to run for governor because he can't run for another term after this. So I don't know. I really love Ron DeSantis and want him to have a part in national government, but by running against Trump, the curse of Trump, when you do that, you regret it. But he'll forgive you. He'll forgive you, and he would give DeSantis a spot in the cabinet if one should come available. But because obviously Rubio ran against him. Little Marco, he was called in 2015, and there's a number of people. Doug Burgum had run for president, but he knew DeSantis was going to be the real challenge. But eventually Ron had to, and Nikki Haley has shot herself in the foot. She's done. She can have her podcast there. I don't see that going anywhere. I don't see it going anywhere. Some of Elvis's family members do know that he's still alive. Oh, I think most of them do. They just don't want to say anything because there goes their chances of still being able to milk a blessing, I guess. Milk off of saying the fact that whatever. Retract that. His grandmother, Jack Vernon's mother. So there was a part, Angel X is here. There was a part 1 to that. Oh, I see who you're talking about. Chi-Chi even joins us. 7 p.m. Good evening, Jack. Good evening. I got to get to bed soon, and so do the rest of you, many of you that are here on the East Coast and what have you. Don't have anything big planned for today, which is good. We are having fires here in South Carolina. You see, we haven't gotten any updates on that. Fox is not covering it. Oh, they'll give you like 40 seconds of it and they'll say it's close to Myrtle Beach and then we don't hear anything. So what I was meaning to do was to go to the local South Carolina affiliate and get the skinny there because they're so obsessed with all the politics news, all channels that, you big stories get totally ignored. That's another thing that happens today. We need a news service that has reporters on the street when there are big stories, and you can use local stations that'll be glad to hook up with you and have their reporter do a report for you. You don't have to hire a big staff. And if you are MSNBC, if they weren't so obsessed with destroying their programming schedule, I don't know how long I was watching Victor Davis Hanson, one of the brightest men in the world. He's got a new, I guess you could say it's a streaming service, the Daily Signal. There's the Daily Wire. Now, Victor Davis Hanson, Professor Hanson has the Daily Signal. And he was talking about, Rachel Maddow getting paid $30 million and now $25 million for showing up to work 1 or 2 days a week. It's just outrageous. And then she calls her bosses at NBC a bunch of racists for taking Joy Reid off. She should have been fired the next day. I think she's going. I think they're all going. None of them are pulling in any ratings. They got rid of Alex Wagner. They got rid of Joy Reid and that Cape Art guy. Is he still part of the Weekend or something? Maybe, I don't know. But he was doing the PBS election night coverage. What a dweeb. And Judy Woodruff, who used to be a professional newscaster, just another soul from NBC News days that that has, in my humble opinion, lost any credibility because of Trump derangement syndrome. So it's like invasion of the body snatchers going on out there. People are, they always repeat the same crap. Oh, he's just for tax cuts to the rich. No, he just presented a budget where he honors his promises for no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, the things that the moment he said no tax on tips, he won Nevada. Well, they said, really? No tax on tips? And, isn't it funny that even the people that may consider themselves Democrats know that when Trump says something like that, he's actually going to do everything in his power to make it happen. It's stellar. Yeah, that's the word I've been using for the Trump cabinet. It's stellar. President Trump is brilliant. I agree with you, Kitty. And much more mature than he was in 2015 when he came into the job, and himself has admitted this. He was just trying to find his bearings, but he quickly did. But he had a lot of the wrong people. Now he's got an excellent cabinet. I love my Tulsi. I love my Pam Bondi. I love Caroline Levitt giving the White House briefing. Uh, Secretary Walls, Sebastian Gawker. Now he's got, what's her name? Tammy Bruce in the State Department. It's just one hit after another. I haven't heard anything about Dr. Oz. I thought he was going to have something to do with the veterans and stuff. I haven't heard a word about Dr. Oz. Did he not get in? I'm not even sure it was an appointed position. Marco Rubio, and of course, from Fox News, what's his name? Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I mean, after 4 years of feeling like America was literally sliding into the deepest ocean, never to return, we are optimistic. And the most important thing to me is I think people really prayed about this, and God heard those prayers and gave us a second chance. But those people that call themselves progressives, Democrats, that sat there during President Trump's, there's not one of them that should ever be elected to office again. Not one of them that seems to have any virtue to them whatsoever. I mean, I understand where the people like Angus King in Maine and Susan Collins, that they're in a purple state. They're trying to stay in office, so they have to be careful with their votes. I kind of give them a pass, but Maine has become infested by these young, uh, soulless progressives. Attorney General, the governor of Maine, they don't represent the people of Maine, and I hope they get tossed out on their keister, Ted Richards. Jack is George Jones. I faked my death. He was better looking, I think. I think Tammy Wynette would say that too. And I think even Dolly would. Not Dolly Wood, but Dolly, as in Dolly Parton, who just lost her husband. His grandmother, Jack Vernon's mother. Yeah, okay, I said that before. So how are you, Chi-Chi? I'm glad you're here. I didn't know who would come on, but we've got 17, and I suspect a good deal more. Hello, replay crowd. I wonder if anyone will watch us in the replay. Please feel free to share some of our shorter videos, the pre-recorded ones, because we've already been on for an hour. That's just freaking amazing. On an hour. It's 10 after 3, and um, I am not Marie Osmond. I'm definitely not. Huh. So that's wild, guys. It's really wild. It's just we need more of you because, yeah, the view, the live shows are not cracking 1,000 unless I come up with the right thing. So you can understand what it's like to be in that predicament, where if you if you don't bring that, and you got to bring it early too, because people get mad when you spend 30 minutes before you get to the topic that's in the title of the video. Jack is trolling us. He's Elvis. Hmm. No, not quite. Not quite. Um, Dolly Parton lost her husband? Yes. Yes, she did. They were married for how many years was it? Many, many years. So, well, it is 10 after 3, in the morning here. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Ted Richards, you are an interesting character, Jack, and you don't even know the stuff I would never say on the air. I could get a whole lot more interesting, but I'd lose some people along with it. I mean, I'm talking about my past, not my current situation. You're an interesting character, Jack, and easy to listen to. Well, that's nice. We just need to get the word out better, and the viewers will come. And, I'm talking about a topic I've been doing for 7 years now. Get Gene Ho on the show. He doesn't want to come on until it gets closer, Shelly Belly. I tried to get him on for a phone call, and he said he goes to bed much too early. Then I said, well, we'll pre-record the phone call, and he was interested in that. But, he hasn't there's not that urgency yet. When there is, we'll probably do another video interview if I'm still relevant then. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm just hanging on. I'm hanging on by a fine thread, and at any moment I could snap. I could snap. And then I'd be like Representative Green. Oh my goodness. Johnny Barasario, is that how you say Johnny's last name? Jesse Waters. Well, thank you, Jody Smith, for hitting the thanks button for $1. She's an encourager. That's one of her roles here, and I appreciate that so much. Johnny went to Capitol Hill the day after the Trump speech, and the Democrats don't want to speak to them. They're always got an important meeting, and Elizabeth Warren, who's got the brains of a gnat. She'd be happy if we just continued to throw billions of taxpayer dollars at the Ukraine. No, we've got to end this conflict. And to end this conflict, you got to talk to Vladimir Putin. You've got to be a negotiator instead of like Biden. Now they're talking about a Biden slush fund. Millions of dollars were filtered. This is just coming out, and I don't know enough about it. But my goodness, worst president in my lifetime. And now, for sure, in the second term, because 45 became 47, the best president in my lifetime, Donald John Trump. Donald John Trump. Thank you, Jody Smith, for that $1 gift. Selena M. Thank you, Selena, for hitting the Cash App last time. I didn't see it till I got off the air. Cash App, should you want to ever use that, is lowercase letters Media Guy 56. Media Guy 56. MEDIAGUY 56. Lowercase letters. Selena hit the Cash App on Worldwide Ramblings last night for 777. And Todd Bradshaw once again hit it for $30. If I added it all up with Todd, it's quite a bit. It's strung out over a number of months, but I need more Todd Bradshaws. But I'm thankful for $1. I'm thankful for 99 cents. I'm thankful for $3 on the thanks button that you see here. But the Cash App is especially for the bigger donations, because I get more of it on Cash App. That's Media Guy 56. Look at this. Carmen Sylvia from New Zealand. Hi, all. Well, hello. How are you doing, Selena M., by the way? I thank you so much for your Cash App tip. That's what it is. You're hitting a tip jar. You saw what interview? Jack. She says, Hearts Wild. What interview are we talking about? I say something, then I forgot that I just said it. Keep that in mind. Carmen Sylvia is from New Zealand. She has a YouTube channel. Check out Carmen Sylvia here. And 57 years. Who said that? Where is it? Yes, Selena M said that. Dolly and her husband were married for 57 years. The highest I ever got to was 17 years, then 7, and now Karen and I have been together. We're going into our 15th year. We're going into our 15th year. So, count my blessings. Count my blessings. That's what I said to my therapist earlier today. Once a month, I have to talk to somebody to get my Xanax because I've been taking that for 25 years, but still a very low dose. Helps me kind of calm down my mind. I'll need it tonight. Well, you have to take it after a while because you get major addicted, but I'm on half a gram, so it's no big deal, I don't think. Hasn't affected me yet in a negative way. So, because there's no real studies on long-term use of Xanax. Well, here I am. I'll be your study. I'll be glad to be a paid spokesman too. I think I should be a paid spokesman for what the heck was it? For Skechers, slip-ons, because I have 3 pairs of Skechers. I'm wearing a pair right now, as a matter of fact. Marty Greco, 44 years for me. Wow, Marty. Wow. Look at that. Ted Richards in the middle of the night hits the thanks button for $10. Thank you so much, Ted Richards. I never expected anybody to do that in the middle of the night, but it's our family here, and that's very much appreciated. Whether it was $1 or $10, I appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you very, very much. Ted has also been with us for a long time. So 37 years for me, says Carmen Sylvia. Really, huh? And Carmen's on TV in New Zealand, right? You do promotional stuff, spokeswoman, right? Mark Levin was on TV this past weekend, and it was clear that his voice was giving him trouble, that he was having laryngitis. He sounded worse on Sunday than he sounded on Saturday. Then I tuned in the Mark Levin radio show on Monday. He sounded worse on the radio than he sounded on TV Saturday and Sunday. Then I heard him tonight. He worked right through it, and his voice is back. And he's a champion. He had taken a fall a few months back and hurt one of his legs. This was like in October, and Trump was saying at some point, well, Mark, you hurt your leg, not your voice. I really need you right now on the radio and on TV, Fox, of course. So there you go. So 56 for me. I was 23. Gee, 56 and 66, 76. You're 79 years old, huh? Around there? Angel X? My goodness. Wow. We'll be going to see Catherine Lee Scott in July in Tarrytown, New York, for a little Dark Shadows reunion. She's in her 80s now. She's not a Trumper, though, but I'm not. I would never mention it. She's encountered some pushback, which I think kind of surprised her, but we love her so much. I don't care what her politics are. I don't, that doesn't change my feelings for her, because she's Maggie Evans from Dark Shadows, Lady Hampshire, and of course, Josette Dupre and Rachel Drummond. Those are the roles she played. So I love her. And, she's got a few people coming, and she mentioned that, because we got the tickets. They're really cheap. The tickets are not expensive for the afternoon. They have a cocktail party at night that's more expensive. I'm not going to pay for a glass of champagne. And, I've been through that mansion several times. But She mentioned that she was talking to uh, the chap that played David Collins, uh, whose real name is David Hennessy, that he may show up, that he would like to join in for the gathering July 19th and 20th in Tarrytown at Lyndhurst Mansion. Tickets probably still available online. I haven't checked lately. There's a Saturday and a Sunday afternoon, and there's a cocktail party at night, which costs more. So it would be an absolute thrill to meet Mr. David Hennessy, who lives in Panama City, where he has 3 restaurants. He has an organic farm, and he's all into these. I don't know what you call them. It's like chocolate flakes coming off this very expensive machine, and there's a real fancy name for it. And he's really into this. He's been managing restaurants and owning restaurants for years. He got out of show business. The last thing he did was an episode of The Waltons where, they gave him a small part, and he had been such a big part of Dark Shadows. But I would be honored to meet him. Now, I was born in March 21st of 1956, and his birthday is October. So he's 68 as I am now, but I will turn 69 way before he does this year, way before he does. And then it's the countdown to 70 years old. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's a countdown that I want to do, though. I know that. I'm ready to wait for the rapture and hope that God's grace really is amazing, and I'll make that rapture. 56, congratulations. Congratulations. And look at this. Marty Greco hits the thanks button in turquoise for $5. Jack, I believe I can speak for everyone here. You are so awesome. Well, I don't know about that. You haven't talked to my ex-wives, have you? Thank you, Marty. I appreciate that very much. Imagine coming on in the middle of the night, and here is 19 people now. Hello. If you haven't checked in, please do. And people hitting the thanks button like that. And thank you, Selena, for hitting the Cash App last night. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you, Marty and Ted, and Jody the Encourager. Also, thank you for doing that tonight. See if I missed anything here. Let me go to my inbox. Got an email from Jody. Picture of Elvis Presley. She sent me an Elvis video from Graceland. I'll have to check that out. But if you do want to see the video that I do have a copy of, privately shared in an email, my personal email is jackthefairguy, F-A-I-R, jackthefairguy @gmail.com. Saturday or Sunday, I'll get Andy up here and we'll just mass mail them, because I am totally incompetent in that area. By the way, Christari, keep praying for her. She has sent me lots of her brain information. She had a tumor removed. I'm not sure if they got all of the tumor or part of it, but she has been sending me, Christari has been sending me information. This email is entitled New Brain Tumor, and she sent us here's a copy of the pictures and the email I sent Jean Ho. Please keep me in your prayers and let everybody know surgery is in about 5 hours. So she already had this surgery. I don't think she had another one, but she made it through the surgery and was actually speaking to us Wednesday night, and it was translating to text. So keep praying for Christari as she recovers, and hopefully pray for a total healing from this brain tumor, and pray for Deborah Lake, who's having immune therapy and taking the chemo pill, and for Brenda Noyce, who has numerous health issues, the liver issues, had kidney stones, and pray for Dennis Prager, and pray for Katina's daughter, who has breathing issues and what have you. So it's just a lot of people here. Happy that Marty made a full recovery. Really, really am. And so keep those people in your prayers. Pray for Karen, because she has stenosis and has neck issues and what have you. My brother and I are planning a trip to Graceland, says Nancy DeMarco, and then to Benton, probably in April. I am so excited. Yeah. Some people are going to do Graceland and then shoot over to Benton on the weekend of the George Magazine event, 3,900 seats in the OZK Arena. And everyone who goes to the Saturday event or the Friday-Saturday event, you're VIP if you go Friday. And that's not cheap, but it's not terrible, Just go to georgemagazine.com and find out all the information on that, georgemagazine.com, for the big event. The second one in Hot Springs, Arkansas, Sunday, Pastor Bob Joyce will bring the Household of Faith service to the OZK Arena at 10 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Central Time. All the people that attend the Saturday paid event and the Friday paid event, which would be Friday, Saturday, they be going. They get in first. And I know of at least one bus that's coming down from Memphis. So, be online early. Gorilla Max, huh? Where are you watching us from, Gorilla Max? Not Mad Max, but Gorilla Max. You're not Max Baer, are you? Jethro is still alive from the Beverly Hillbillies, He's still alive. Very old, but still alive. Let's see. Hearts Wild says Graceland is amazing. Yeah, I've never been there. See, I'm not that kind of Elvis fan. Jack, you'll like the video that I sent you. I'll be watching it later on today. I will. Nancy says, I've been there 3 times. My brother never has, so it'll be a new event for him. Hi, Gorilla, says Carmen from New Zealand. Bless her, Lord, praying for Christari. Please do. We prayed for her in real time when she started talking to us last night. All I wear is Skechers, Jack, says Hearts Wild. Aren't they great? I'll tell you, best pair of slip-ons I ever owned are the black ones with the Goodyear tire, Goodyear sole. Oh, I tell you what, they're black slip-ons. And as I say, they got that Goodyear sole. Cost me a little more than I usually pay for a sneaker, about $110, but I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. And I can say to you, especially for a senior citizen like I have suddenly become, I'm amazed too. It helps me walk straighter and more confidently. And it's the best shoe I ever owned. Skechers the best. Oh, it's an old person's shoe. Some people say, come on, they're beautiful shoes. They have them in ties, so they're not all slip-ons. I have a pair of black tied sneakers, Skechers, and the ones I'm wearing now are very nice too. They're very nice too. Here we go. Yeah. Size 13. I gotta clean this part here. Gotta clean that. I must have walked through a poodle. A poodle. A poodle. I walked on a poodle? No, a puddle. It was laundry day. And Mr. Washy Washy had to go to the doctor, and he said he might have a bed delivered. Strange things happen at this laundromat, folks. He sells clothes and colognes in the back, but then he's at his other business a few doors down, which is Dutch Girl Cleaners. So Some things you could go in there and steal, but they don't do it. They don't do it. They just come and get him if they want to buy something in the laundry. I mean, in the dry cleaners. But he asked Karen and I to look out because they might not deliver the mattress he was expecting. Maybe he's going to start sleeping in his office some nights. I don't know. Um, but so we said we would, and he said the guy never came with the mattress, but we stayed right there and waited for him as our laundry was being done. And he said, "Oh, you appreciate you so much, and you always look out for me." So he says, "You want something that's one of the clothes?" And there was this cool pair of yellow sweatpants, yellow, bright yellow, like the same color that Ted Richards highlighted his $10 tip to me, the same color. And I said, "I'll take those. I'll take those yellow sweatpants." So I'll show them to you. They're in the bottom of my laundry bag. So there you go. I can't believe it. 15 people still watching. Body Snatchers. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. It just seems a Gorilla Max that half the I say world, but really I don't really know about the world as much as I know about America. It's like it's invasion of the body snatchers. People have sold their reputations. Older people that know better, that would have to know that the squad, and I don't know what your political beliefs are, and I'm fine if, whatever you believe is your right to believe. Um, but people, newscasters have sold their reputations because of this hatred for Donald Trump and tell one lie after another as he tries to help middle America because that's what he promised he would do. But they throw all objectivity out the window and they just destroy their own careers as as more and more people turn away from them because it's far more than 77 million people now in America. The polls indicate that like 22% of people are happy with the job that Democrats are doing. Their party's in danger of extinction, and those people sat on their hands during the president's speech. It wouldn't applaud for the people who had lost children. Oh, well, we're all for immigrants, so too bad if your daughter got raped and killed, like in Riley. And the 12-year-old girl that went to the convenience store and got nabbed by an illegal immigrant and sexually assaulted and murdered, they had no reaction. These people are zombies. They're not worthy of office. They took an oath, just like the governor of Massachusetts took, the governor of New York took, the governor of Chicago took, and the mayors in these places. They took an oath and they have violated it. They are not protecting their people. They are not. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. It's just weird, Gorilla Max. It's just really, 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 really weird. Thank you, Ted. Thank you so much. I met Coco the gorilla. Well, so did Robin Williams, Carmen. Coco came to New Zealand. I didn't know he was that much of a touring gorilla, but I remember the commercials with Robin Williams and Coco. I do. When is it? You never answer me, Shelley. When is Trudeau going to physically leave? Now she says, night, everybody. I can understand at this hour. Became grandma at 7, says Angel X. At 7 p.m.? Because I don't think you couldn't have been a grandma at 7 years old, right? Good night, Ted, Jody, Jack, Elvis, derangement syndrome also. I suppose. I get around by the Beach Boys. Round, round, get around, I get around. Do, 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 do. Kitty says Graceland does something too. You can't explain it. Mr. Jack, I hope you get to go someday. Then on to see Pastor Bob. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to have a GoFundMe to do the August thing, and I'd wanna bring Karen, I don't wanna do it without her, which means flying into a Little Rock, renting a car into Benton, hotel for, um, 2 or 3 nights. It gets very expensive, and I can't go on to Texas at that point. I can't fly into Texas after that. Um, Not sure when I'm gonna see my son. We have been talking about it. Uh, so it's complicated, and it's hot as hell in August, and those parts. You'll be in an air-conditioned building, but you know what I mean? It's hot. Jesus spoke often of the invasion of the body snatchers, says Gorilla Max. I'm going to give you some example. All right. Um, hmm. Whitewashed tombs filled with dead man's bones. Well, you can always shoot me an email, Jack the Fair Guy, FAIR, jackthefairguy at gmail.com. Wow, 3:37 in the morning. Amazing. I thank you for joining me for this pop on to pop off as we meander the invasion of the body snatchers here in America and beyond. And beyond. Don't forget Worldwide Rambling Saturday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Thank you for those who hit the tip jar. You can do that at any time, and I will thank you on the next show. Appreciate it very much. And the Cash App, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56. Thank you so much. I have got to get ready to hit the hay. It's windy and it's chilly here, 32 degrees. The windows are rattling, but the good weather that's coming into Vancouver should be here by Saturday. Saturday. Maybe I'll have my Hawaiian shirt on Saturday. Big God bless you. Bye bye, everybody.